Hey sports fans, welcome back to Data Lego Sports Channel. Today we're diving into the world of March Madness, where dreams are made, hearts are broken, and brackets are busted. Everybody loves a dominant scorer, a highlight reel machine, but let me tell you something, basketball is a team sport. It's the most exciting time of the year in college basketball, but let's be real folks, there's a whole lot of hype, and not all of it's backed up by the facts. First off, I really appreciate you taking a second to like and subscribe to be able to bring more folks this wonderful content. To separate fact from fiction, first let's get your basketball IQ flowing with a little trivia question. Which team has the most NCAA men's basketball championships? Leave your answer in the comments below. Was it the UCLA Bruins dynasty, the Kentucky Wildcats with their storied program, or another powerhouse that reigns supreme? We're dropping knowledge bombs every week, folks. Alright folks, let's talk about those higher seeds. Conventional wisdom says they're automatic bets, right? Wrong. That's right, I said wrong. This is March Madness, baby, where chaos reigns supreme and those Cinderella stories aren't just fairy tales. Remember UMBC? Of course you do. The Retrievers shocked the world by becoming the first ever 16 seed to take down a 1 seed Virginia back in 2018. And don't even get me started on Loyola Chicago's magical run to the Final Four as a number 11 seed in 2018. Sister Jean and those Ramblers proved that heart, hustle, and a little bit of divine intervention can take you a long way. These underdogs, they're hungry, they're playing with a chip on their shoulder, and they're ready to send those top dogs packing. You see, in March Madness, anything can happen. The pressure cooker of the tournament can make even the most seasoned veterans crumble, while those underdogs, they thrive on it. They're playing with house money, baby, and they're not afraid to let it ride. So next time you're filling out your bracket and tempted to go chalk all the way, remember UMBC, remember Loyola Chicago, and remember that in March Madness, those higher seeds ain't always guaranteed a ticket to the next round. Now let's talk about those favorites. Everybody loves a sure thing, right? Well, guess what? In March Madness, there ain't no such thing. That's right, those top-ranked teams, those blue bloods, they may look invincible in the regular season, but come tournament time, they're just as vulnerable as anybody else. Just ask the 2014 Virginia Cavaliers, ranked number 1 in the country, loaded with future NBA talent. They were a heavy favorite, a lock for the Final Four, some said even the championship. What happened? They got bounced in the Sweet 16 by a scrappy Michigan State team. And who could forget the 2011 NCAA tournament? The Butler Bulldogs, a Cinderella story for the ages, took down the mighty Duke Blue Devils, a team with more championship pedigree than you could shake a stick at. Duke was the favorite, no doubt about it, but Butler, they had other plans. The truth is, folks, March Madness is a different animal. The pressure is higher, the stakes are greater, and even the slightest stumble can send you home packing. Those favorites, they start feeling the heat. The pressure gets to them, and suddenly those Cinderella teams start smelling blood in the water. So before you go putting all your eggs in that favorites basket, remember Virginia in 14, remember Duke in 11, and remember that in March Madness nobody is safe. Chapter 3. Home court advantage? Not in this tournament. Now let's address this whole home court advantage thing. In the regular season, playing in front of your home crowd, that can be a real difference maker. But in March Madness, that home court advantage goes right out the window. That's because the NCAA tournament is played on neutral courts, baby. No matter if you're a top seed or a Cinderella team, you're playing in someone else's house. And let me tell you, that changes everything. Think about it. No familiar rims, no adoring fans cheering your every move. Just you, your opponent, and a whole lot of pressure. That's why you see so many upsets in March Madness. And let's be honest, folks, those neutral courts, they can be a real wild card. You never know what kind of crowd you're going to get, what kind of atmosphere it's going to be. 1 minute it's electric, the next minute it's dead silent. It's all part of the madness, baby. So when you're handicapping those March Madness matchups, don't put too much stock in that home court advantage. Remember, in this tournament, it's anybody's game. Chapter 4. Best player, best team? Not always. Now let's talk about those star players. Everybody loves a dominant scorer, a highlight reel machine, but let me tell you something. Basketball is a team sport, folks. You can have the best player in the country, but if you don't have a team around him, you're not going to win in March Madness. Just ask the 2001 Duke Blue Devils. They had Jay Williams, Carlos Boozer, Shane Battier, all future NBA stars. They were loaded, they were stacked, they were supposed to be a dynasty. But what happened? They got upset in the Sweet 16 by a gritty, defensive-minded Indiana team. And who could forget the 1985 NCAA tournament? Patrick Ewing and the Georgetown Hoyas were the favorites. No question about it, Ewing was a man amongst boys, but they ran into a Villanova team that played like a team possessed, shooting 78.6% from the field, the highest percentage in championship game history. The truth is, folks, basketball is a 5-man game. No, really, so here it goes. You need guys who can shoot, guys who can defend, guys who are willing to sacrifice their own game for the good of the team. One star player can't do it all. So before you go betting all your money on that team with the flashy point guard or the high-flying dunker, remember Duke in 2001, remember Georgetown in 85, and remember that in March Madness, it's all about team. Chapter 5. Always bet the underdog in the first round? Think again. Okay, folks, let's talk about those first round upsets. Everybody loves a good Cinderella story, right? And it's true, those first round games can be unpredictable. But let me tell you something. This whole always bet the underdog strategy, that's just lazy analysis. Sure, upsets happen, but they don't happen as often as you might think. In fact, over the past 10 NCAA tournaments, higher seeds have won roughly 70% of first round games. That's right, 70%. So if you're blindly betting on the underdog every time, you're going to be wrong more often than you're right. Now, I'm not saying you should never bet on an underdog in the first round. There are always going to be those matchups where a lower seed has a legitimate shot at pulling off an upset. But you got to be smart about it. You got to do your research. You got to look at the matchups. You got to look at the team's styles of play. You got to look at everything. And let's be honest, folks, sometimes those higher seeds, they come out flat in the first round. They're looking ahead, they're underestimating their opponent, and they get caught sleeping. So that's when those upsets happen. So before you go putting all your money on that 15 seed to take down a 2 seed, remember that upsets are the exception, not the rule. Do your research, be selective, and bet smart. Outro: bet smarter, win bigger. Thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Let's spread the knowledge and help everyone bet smarter this March Madness. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on these myths. And let us know if there are any other sports myths you'd like us to bust. We're here to break down the game, separate fact from fiction, and give you the insights you need to win big. And remember, for the best sports insights and betting tips, subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. We're dropping knowledge bombs every week, folks, so stay tuned. See you next time.